Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Alex and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to speed up Windows 10 1903. And before I start, make sure you enable subtitles on my videos to understand better what I say. And first of all, this won't be my typical 2 to 5 minutes video. This is going to be a 10 plus minutes video because I will show you all the settings on how to speed up Windows 10 1903. So don't expect to be less than 10 minutes. And in this video there will be a lot of mistakes and there will be a lot of edits. So this won't be my best video that I have ever made, but I will give it a try. And I wanted to make a different video that I make every time. I want to make something different on how to speed up Windows 10 because I have done it once or twice, but I want to make like a full tutorial. So yeah, let's start. First of all, we're gonna change the settings from Windows settings, of course. And in the end of the video we're gonna change some settings in the services section. If you do not know what services is, I'm gonna show you really quickly what it is. This is the services right here. We're gonna disable some settings in the end of the video. So we're gonna change every single setting right here. First of all, we're gonna go to system. Then here display, you do not need to change anything, but in the night light, if you want, just turn it. If you do not know what this is, this gives you like a yellowish color to your monitor for your eyes to see better, so your eyes don't get tired. I don't know how to explain it better, but I'm pretty sure most of you know what it is. And after that, we need to go to notifications and actions. In the sound section, you do not need to change anything. You do not have to change. You're gonna go to notifications and actions. Here, disable get notifications from apps and other centers. If you do not want to disable it, just it's your personal preference. I'm just making this video to how to speed up Windows 10. If you want, keep these settings on. And this here show me the Windows welcome experience. I think it was enabled, just disable it, and everything else we do not need. Then go to focus assist, and here in the focus assist section click the alarms only, so it hides all the notifications except for alarms. And you need to uncheck these three settings right here. As I said, it's your personal preference if you want to keep it on, but I'm just going to disable everything, how to make how to speed up Windows 10. And after that, go to power and sleep, and here change the settings from whatever you have to like above 15 minutes, and in the sleep section change the whatever you have there to never, so your PC doesn't go to sleep after like the time you have put. So change that to never. As I said, keep these settings, so keep these settings if you want to. And after that, go to storage, and here in the storage section scroll down to the end where it says optimize drives, and here if you have multiple drives, just click optimize so that it optimizes the hard drive or SSD what you have. And I do not know why analyze is grayed out. For you it may be it may not be grayed out. If you can, just click analyze and then optimize. And I forgot to show you one setting in here in the scheduled optimization down here at the end. Change the settings so that your PC can optimize the drive daily. Don't do it weekly or monthly. Bear in mind that this will slow down your computer a bit. So if you have a slow computer, just change it to weekly. But for fast computers, change it to daily. I'm gonna click OK after that and then close. And after in the storage section, go to multitasking. In the tablet mode, you do not have to change anything. Go to multitasking and uncheck everything in here. The snap windows and the show suggestions in your timeline. If you want, keep these settings on. And after that, I'm gonna go to, I think we're about done here. We do not need to change anything. We're gonna go back here and we're gonna go to devices right now. And here the only setting we're going to change is in the pen and Windows ink, and uncheck this show recommended app suggestions. Every single other thing we do not need to change. If you want, just uncheck everything you want here. But in the typing section, maybe some of you want to uncheck this, but I'm leaving everything default. And after that, we're gonna go to phone. And here you may see that it does not have any settings because I do not have my phone linked to my computer. If you have your phone linked in your computer, it may show some settings, but unfortunately it does not have, I haven't linked my phone and it does not show any settings. If you want to know what settings, if you want to know what settings you want to change, go to the internet, because I do not know what settings it have. After that, we're gonna go to network and internet. And here the network and internet section, go to VPN and uncheck these two settings. I'm pretty sure the VPN is if you have a VPN installed and something is not working, make sure you uncheck both of these settings. I do not have a VPN, so I do not know if it actually works. And we're done with network and internet. We're gonna go right now to personalization. And here, once you're in the personalization, go to lock screen. In the background and colors, we do not need to change anything. Go to lock screen and scroll down where it says Cortana lock screen settings. Then here, scroll down to here, and if you have use Cortana even when my device is locked, if you have it on, make sure you have it off, because Cortana may use your computer while your device is in the lock screen. So make sure you disable that. And after that, go back and go to start and uncheck every single thing right here. Here just basically shows you suggestions and all of this bullshit that most of you don't want. And after that, go to taskbar, and here scroll down where it says combine taskbar buttons. So do not know what by default is. I'm pretty sure the first one is. If you do not know what this is, if I go to never, it will show it will show what it says, what each program is. I leave it default, always hide labels, and I think that's everything it right here. And after that, we go back and we're gonna go to apps. And here, once you're in the app section, here in the first one, apps and features, it is like the same thing in the uninstall section in control panel, but here you can uninstall Windows 10 software. For example, the feedback hub, you can uninstall that, but I actually need that. Uninstall whatever program you do not need right here. And after that, go to default apps. And here, scroll down to web browser, just change to whatever browser you use the most, but I use mostly Google Chrome. After that, go to all offline maps, and here if you have maps installed, delete them, because it actually takes up space. If you have multiple maps, delete every single one. As you can see, I do not have any. And if you have maps installed, make sure you uncheck automatically update maps, because if you're playing a game and you have like a not very good internet connection, maps will download in background and it will destroy your game. So make sure you uncheck this. And after that, go to apps and apps for website, and here I've checked both these three settings. For you it may have a lot more, but for me it has only three. So that means when you're using Google Maps, for example, or Microsoft Edge, it will require you the location just to find you where you are, for example. Just make sure you uncheck both of these, and after that, go to startup. And if you have multiple applications while booting up Windows, make sure you uncheck most of these. As you can see here on the right side, it says low impact, so that means it does not affect Windows boot up. If it says like high or medium, make sure you uncheck these. I haven't unchecked most of these. I'm gonna uncheck the Java update scheduler, and the other ones I need them, but uncheck the ones that you do not need. And after that, we're gonna go to time and language. And here, once you're in the time and language, the first two options, leave them on. If you want to change the time zone, down here in the bottom, just uncheck the set time automatically and the set time zone automatically, and you can change the setting right here, but I'm gonna leave them default. And if you're wondering, yes, I'm living in Athens, Greece. And after that, we're gonna go straight up to gaming. And here, once you're in the gaming section, if you have record games, clips, screenshots, and broadcast using taskbar, make sure you uncheck it. If you want these settings, just keep them on, and go to captures. You do not have nothing. And here, in the game mode, uncheck it, because I tried benchmarking CS:GO with game mode on and game mode off, and actually made no difference. So if you want to try it for yourself, but I'm gonna uncheck it. And here in the Xbox networking, you cannot disable anything. And yeah, we're gonna go to ease of access. And here, once you're in the ease of access section, scroll down to here where it says simplify and personalize windows. Uncheck both of these three settings. As you can see, it changed a bit windows. If I go to, yeah, as you can see, it's like changed a bit, but I like these to keep them on. It gives like a transparent look in the back of it, and everything here in the other two settings you do not need to change anything. We're gonna go straight up to narrator. These other four settings you do not have to change anything. And here, if you use narrator, do not follow what I do right here, but I like to uncheck every single setting that has to do with narrator. If you want, keep these settings on, but I'm gonna disable every single thing right here. And after that, go to audio. And after that, do not go to audio because we're basically done in this section. We're gonna go back and go to search. Once you're in the search section, you're gonna need to disable these two settings right here in the history. Uncheck this and this, and clear my device history. And after that, go to searching windows. The other five settings right here, you do not need to change anything. Go to searching windows, and here do not change to enhanced option. By default, it's going to be classic, because as it says in the enhanced down here in the end, it says this option may reduce your battery life and increase CPU consumption. So what this means, it will index most of the files, so that means you can access them faster. By default, it's going to be classic. I've put it to enhanced so that I can access my files faster, because I search all the time on my computer for stuff. And after that, we do not have to do anything right here. We're gonna go back and go through Cortana. And once you're here, make sure you uncheck both of these three settings. I have already unchecked them from when I first installed Windows, but for you it may be enabled. Just if you use Cortana a lot, just leave them enabled. I have already disabled them. We do not need to do anything right here. Go back, and we're gonna go to privacy. And once you're in the privacy, make sure you uncheck all of these four settings, because the first one says let apps use advertising ID to make ads more interesting to you based on your app activity. It's like the same with Google. Like Google hears you when you talk alone or when you're talking with your friends, and it will show you ads that you have talked about. And yeah, this is very annoying. And after that, go to speech and uncheck online recognition, and go to inking and typing personalization, uncheck that, and go to diagnostics and feedback. Here you may see that these two settings are grayed out, because it says up here with yellow letters, Windows Insider program manages these options. If you have enrolled for Windows Insider program, you cannot change the setting. If you haven't enrolled for Windows Insider program, you can change the setting right here. Once you're here, just scroll down, and where it says here, as I said, if you haven't enrolled for Windows Insider program, you can change the setting. If you can change it to never. And after that, here, just click Ask Me before fixing problems. And after that, we're gonna go to our activity history, and here uncheck both of these settings, because it will, as it says, store my activity history on this device. And if you have an account right here, just leave it enabled. And right now we're gonna go to the most important part of Windows 10 1903. We're gonna go to app permissions. There are a lot of settings right here, but I think the first ones right here are the most important. And once you're in the location setting, uncheck allow apps to access your location. This is very important. Make sure you uncheck it, because if your computer is hacked, your hackers can actually locate you if you have this setting enabled. After that, go to camera and uncheck the allow apps to access your camera, because it's the same thing as location. If hackers hack your computer, then hackers can open your camera and see your face, take a picture, and I do not know what the hell they will do with it. And after that, go to microphone. It's the same thing as the location camera. Uncheck it. I'm not going to uncheck it because I'm actually recording right now, and I think it's gonna mess the recording. After that, go to voice activation, and if you have this enabled, just uncheck it, and the other one if you can. And here after that, go to notifications and uncheck allow apps to access your notifications. Uncheck that. Then account info, uncheck that. Basically uncheck every single other settings. Contacts, uncheck that. Calendar, uncheck that. If you use some of these, just leave them enabled. Here phone calls, uncheck that. Call history, uncheck that. Do basically all the other things. Messaging, uncheck. Radios, uncheck. Other devices, uncheck. And here in the background apps, uncheck the apps that you do not want to run on background. I'm gonna leave it on, but uncheck the ones that you do not need. I haven't actually unchecked any of these. I'm gonna do it in my own time, not right now. After that, go to app diagnostics, uncheck all of these again. And I think, nope, in the documents, uncheck that again. In the pictures, uncheck that. Or no, you need it enabled, because if you are viewing pictures, if you want to see some pictures, I think you need that enabled. And both in the videos. File system, let this enabled, because I do not know what will actually happen if you disable that. And yeah, we're done, basically done in here. After that, gonna go to the last section, update and security. And once you're in the update security section, you can actually pause the updates for 7 days. That's a new feature in the Windows 10 1903. For the earlier versions, I'm pretty sure you cannot do that. And here you need to change active hours. If you're using your computer like 24/7, make sure you enable that and change what time you want to restart your computer for updates. I do not actually know how to change that. Here, just make sure it's off and click change, and change to whatever you're not using your computer. And after that, click save, and then enable it again. And after that, we're gonna go to delivery optimization. By default, I know this it's enabled. Make sure you uncheck this, because as it says, allow downloads from other PCs. I do not know how this actually works. It searches on the internet for like nearby computers to take files from other computers to download the file that you're downloading. I don't know, this kind of messed up. Sorry, I forgot to say it. If you have multiple computers in your house, enable that and click PCs on my local network and PCs on the internet. So that if you have like 3 computers on your house and they are connected to the one router, your computer can take the files from your other computers to download the thing that you want faster. And after that, you go to Windows Security. Once you're in the Windows Security section, click Open Windows Security, and we're gonna change some settings. First of all, we're gonna go to Virus and Threat Protection. And then after that, we're gonna go to Virus and Threat Protection Settings. Click Manage Settings. And if you really care about your computer for virus attacks, do not change anything, but I'm gonna uncheck the Cloud Delivered Protection. Click off and click yes. And after that, uncheck the Tamper Protection. It does not need administrator privileges. And because I care about my computer for viruses, I'm gonna leave them on again. And after that, go back to the main section and scroll down to where it says Manage Ransomware Protection. Uncheck this, because this is really annoying if you have it on. I think if you haven't enabled it, make sure you do not, because I have tried it, and when I have downloaded when I download stuff from the internet, Windows Security immediately blocks the folder or the file, because it cannot it does not know if it's a virus or not, and it blocks it immediately, and you have to put it in an exception list. So make sure you have this unchecked. And here we do not need to change anything else from Windows Security. That's the only 2 to 3 settings we need to change. We're gonna close that. And I do not think we do not need to change anything here. And yeah, right now we're gonna go to the services section. How to do that? Right click and click run, and type here services.msc. Click OK or enter. And once you're here, scroll down a bit and find connected user experiences and telemetry. And you can double click or right click and properties. After you are here in the startup type, change that from automatic to disabled, click stop, and then apply and OK. And here scroll down a bit where it says distributed link tracking client, double click that and change what we did to the other setting. Click disable, so I'm going to click stop and click apply and OK. If you do not know what these settings do, it says here in the description in the top left corner, description maintains links between NTFS files and all of these, whatever it says there. And that's everything it right here. If you didn't know, Superfetch, if you did not know, this service has been actually removed from Windows 10 1903. I think it was also removed from the earlier version of Windows, but as you can see here, Superfetch does not exist, so they actually removed it. And that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry if this video was kind of bad. I wanted to try something new on my channel, and this video won't get probably uploaded today. It will get uploaded tomorrow because I have to edit the sound. I have to add the subtitles. It will take a lot of time. And as I said, sorry if this video was kind of bad. I tried my best, and if I missed some settings, tell me in the comment section, so that I know it. And yeah, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you enable subtitles. First of all, I know I said this in the intro, but I want to tell it again. Make sure you enable subtitles. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in my next video. See ya.